What's up, everybody? Cash Sirois with the Collectible Network. This is Unpacking, our interview show, and if there was a hall of fame of nice dudes in the collectible industry, Tracy Hackler, the head of marketing for Panini, he'd be in the Ring of Honor.
Well, that means quite a lot to me, Cash. Thank you for those kind words. I will pay you when it's over.
I don't need it. That one's free.
No, that means a lot, and I'm happy to be with you.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I want to get to know you a little bit on camera a little bit. Obviously, we've gotten to know each other a little bit over the last couple of weeks and months. What is the first thing, I've talked to a couple of people here today. We're at the Industry Summit, obviously, and everybody's risen to a place in this industry that's pretty awesome just to be here, and you among them. But it all started somewhere. What is the first thing that you remember collecting? What, a card, a toy? What is the one thing that was like, man, I got to have that, and you grabbed it, and now it's your entire life?
So my brother Tim and I grew up collecting sports cards back in the mid to late 70s. And so, I would think those trading cards, football and baseball primarily.
Was there one, a player or a year where you're like, because for me it was probably the 80 Ricky Henderson Topps card.
Okay, that's a great card, great player too. I would say probably 78. Whatever, I'm trying to remember, I should know this off the top of my head, but the backs of the cards had the game on it, where it was like, it either said like home run or double or triple or pop out or fly out. It was orange backs, and the game part was on the right side.
Yeah.
And my brother and I played that game countless times.
Yeah.
For endless amounts of hours. And so that was all part of what brought me and my brother so close together. And it was that bonding element that we remain really close, the best of friends even today. And a lot of it started back in 78. You and your brother are much the same.
Yeah. We got 3 years difference.
And it's more than just, like, sports cards is more than just money or having the most. It's also those bonding things between brothers and fathers and sons and fathers and daughters and mothers and daughters. And and that will always be a part of it for me, for sure.
Absolutely. You remember when a couple months ago it was a big deal in the industry? The big news was that PSA and BGS and everybody couldn't handle grading. Mm-hmm. It's been a weird couple months, man.
It's been crazy. Look, I don't know how to really describe the growth, right? It's been so bizarre for even a room full of lifelong industry veteran, like business people.
Yep.
They can't fathom. Nobody saw this kind of thing coming.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So, like, supplies are in demand, and there's a premium placed on one touches and things like that. People doing breaks for one touches. And like the production facility can't handle the volume. Machines are breaking because it's a 24-hour process to produce and package and manufacture things. And it's just a lot of things that nobody foresaw. And not just regular people who've seen the industry, the ups and downs for decades and decades, didn't see this coming. So it's kind of hard to prepare for that.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of some of the details and how it all happened from your perspective, I just want to ask you an overarching philosophical question that you just kind of brought up. Things don't just keep going up forever.
Right.
Interest doesn't just keep going up forever. You can't predict the future, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it can't keep skyrocketing forward.
No.
And so how is that going to happen?
Well, I think that what we lack sometimes when there's such rapid growth, so many new people coming in the business, or people rediscovering the hobby for the first time in decades.
Like me?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Like, people tend to lose perspective. For those of us who've been in it I've been blessed to have a job in this industry for 26 years now. So I've been on the roller coaster. We've seen some pretty cool highs.
Yep.
Some way crappy lows.
Yep.
And then what we saw over the last 2 years, completely unfathomable. Nobody could have predicted it. During a pandemic, by the way. And so when things keep going up and up and up, and all these people jump in because it's going up and up and up, the market is always going to correct itself. It's always going to soften a little bit. But if you look at where we were before the pandemic, kind of at the top end, and then you look to where we went. And so if you got in here and then it went here and now you're here, you're still ahead of the game.
Right.
Not everything is going to triple, quadruple in value every time you buy it.
Right.
So just, I think with time, if you have staying power and you're in it for the right reasons, you're going to ride it out.
Yep.
And you're going to endure the lows and you're going to really enjoy the highs.
When do you first remember hearing the word Prism?
I guess it would be that first football product that we did, Andrew Luck's rookie year.
Yeah.
What was that? 20.
I'm not going to remember offhand.
I'm not either. But we started marketing it, and I kept wanting to change, and autocorrect would always change the Z to an S.
Yeah.
Like, you mean to spell Prism with an S? I'm like, no, it's a Z.
So tell me about the genesis of the idea, the meetings before we even talked about marketing it. Like, who came up with the actual word? What was the thought behind it? Just the different colors? Tell me about that moment.
That's a great question. I'm not real sure.
I would love to find the history of that.
Yeah, I was
so that's why we'll start with you.
Initial meetings, but I know that the folks on our product development team have long decorated pasts, either as collectors or as Beckett analysts or as product developers for Domus or Panini.
Yep.
And so what was obviously lacking when we became the exclusive in the NFL and the NBA, obviously a popular brand is this Optichrome product that another manufacturer has.
Yep.
And because we were now the exclusive for NFL and NBA, there was no Optichrome product.
Yep.
And so we obviously needed to fill that void. And the first year, I think there were a lot of people who wanted to kill it and say it's not working, it didn't work.
Well, it's too flashy?
Well, it's too flashy, not enough, it's not different enough.
Yeah.
But our teams are loyal to brands, and one of our strengths as a company is the ability to honor brand equity and not just here one year, gone the next, and we're going to replace it with something. So we went back to the drawing board and tweaked things, and then we launched it in basketball. And now, I mean, it's our flagship product probably.
Yeah.
Brand.
Yeah.
And then the colors, I think we probably didn't know ourselves what the capacity for all these new colors were, or that tiger stripes would ever be a prism. Parallel or inset, or zebras or whatever. And then Prism is like the Walsh coaching tree of NFL, right?
Yeah.
Because Prism bred Select and Mosaic and Spectra and all these other like great coaches. Yeah. And Prism is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I believe it. I just love the name of it. It's just iconic, and I've always thought it was fantastic. So I'm going to be on the hunt for how it actually started, who the people are, and all that stuff. This will be an ongoing conversation.
I will
do some homework for me.
I'll put you in direct contact with the person that helped develop it, because I think he's here. So I'll get him on the show. That
would be outstanding. That would be fantastic. Okay. The last couple weeks and months, the way that it sounded was that Topps and possibly you guys completely blindsided by the information that came on the Fanatics side of things. What did, without getting into too many industry secrets, how did you find out? What did you think when you first heard?
I think we found out like everybody else did. And what I know to be true is that as far as we know right now, we're day-to-day operations are the same. We're full speed ahead. And my personal opinion or attitude is I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing until you tell me not to do it. But I think we have a lot of years to continue doing what we're doing, and who knows what'll happen 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road.
Sure.
But I do know that we've gotten to where we were by grinding and by just going. Yeah. And we're going to keep going. And I personally am going to keep going until my boss, Jason, says, you're not going anymore. Yeah.
Inside baseball stuff a little bit. How interesting, different, weird is it that a 20-year agreement was signed when in generality it's been a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year deal?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's.
There's pluses and minuses to that. Even I'm saying, if I was putting you guys in that situation where there's pluses and minuses to complacency or freshness or
Sure.
whatever. And I'm just curious from your perspective how weird a 20-year agreement
Well,
is.
for like my own personal opinion, not being a Panini guy, is wow. That's a long time for an exclusive agreement. So, when you first mentioned it in the question a few seconds ago, I laughed because it's still kind of a laughing.
It's incredible.
I'm not laughing at it.
No.
It's just,
amazed by it.
My reaction is like, holy crap! It's unheard of.
Yeah.
So, but man, I remain a glass half full guy and a passionate guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go, and if it's whatever needs to be done, I'm gonna do it. Again, until they say don't do it anymore.
What do you guys have in the pipeline? What's forget all the news of the day. You know what I'm saying? What's the next 2 years outside of that news? What are you guys working on?
I think there's our kind of bread and butter stuff, the prisms and the Dahmer stuff, and all of our core products. We're going to keep kind of full speed ahead with those. We've made some real strides on the NFT side with a lot of existing brands that then become NFTs. The UFC success of the UFC NFTs that we did with Select, the first launch was, I think it was caught everybody by surprise, because I think we expected it to be successful, but not that successful.
Yeah.
To the point where we were giving updates to the UFC brass like every hour on how they were doing.
That's very cool.
It was cool and exciting.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm always a physical guy. I'm a tangible guy. I want to touch it and feel it. And I think I'm always excited to see, because I don't always know what our product teams are working on until it's time to start marketing them. And so I'm always really pleasantly surprised by things that I get to market that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Whether it's the elephant parallel and Select.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for the combination of prism and animal pellets. Yeah. It just drives me crazy, like in the best way.
Yeah.
And me and my guy I shared an office with, Scott Prusha, one of my best friends in the world, he does a lot of the promo sets for like the National Industry Summit and stuff like that. And he and I sat down one day for 2 hours talking about what other animal pelts we could incorporate. And I saw a mock-up of a Dalmatian.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Really? That's cool.
Giraffe. I think Prism or Select Baseball used giraffe, which is my favorite animal.
Yeah.
So I say all that. That's my long-winded way of saying I don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
But our teams are so great from the design side and the conceptual new idea side and the product development guys. Always, as a marketing guy, keeping me on my toes for having to come up with new ways to market things they're doing.
Another thing you guys are great at is the relationships with athletes and the experiences that go around them signing or memorabilia or whatever. What one or two memories over the last several years come to mind with one of those experiences with one of the athletes that you've signed on?
Man, that's a good question, Cash. One of my favorite memories that I've experienced was 2014 World Cup lead up, and we brought Andrew Luck and Kobe Bryant together to do the shoot at what was then StubHub Center in California, because they both have European roots as a kid, and they both played soccer, and they both grew up collecting Panini soccer stickers. And so it made sense they were two exclusive guys to bring them together to help promote the 2014 FIFA World Cup collection. And the opportunity to just see those guys interact. And then at the kind of spur of the moment, we had Andrew Luck in the morning and then Kobe in the afternoon. Their schedules overlapped for 1 hour during lunch. And so they interacted. The highlight for the day for both of them was meeting each other. It was so genuine and fun, and just being a fly on the wall as they talked about competition and being the best and things like that. But then right before Andrew was leaving, Jason, my boss, was like, "You need to interview them both real quick." And I'm like, what?
Very cool.
And I was like, and I don't get nervous usually in those things.
Probably better that you didn't have any time to think
no
about
doubt
it.
about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I was like, Jay, I don't have anything prepared. He goes,
just go, man.
so, and it was.
I don't have anything prepared for this, so I feel the same nerves you did
You're
then.
magical. So it turned out great, but it wasn't anything I did, but it was their answers to questions and how they played off each other. And so yeah, Kobe blows me away because he was always one take. Like, cameras off, we're cussing and having fun and relaxing or whatever.
Lights come on.
He nailed it every time.
Yeah.
And there was a guy.
Peyton Manning is the same way.
Yeah, dude, Peyton's awesome.
Yeah.
There was one point where the guy shooting the Kobe part, he was doing this voiceover line. And Kobe gave it to him. The guy tried to have him read the script. And Kobe goes, I got it. He read the script. He goes, I got it. He was going to improv in his voice.
Do it his way.
So lights on, he absolutely nailed it. It wasn't what the producer wanted. He goes, will you read that again, but the script? He goes, no, you got enough, and walked off. And he did have enough. It was perfect.
I gave you what you needed. I've done a lot of these, bro.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of these.
Yeah.
I got in a conversation with another manufacturer here at the Industry Summit, and it was a weird, kind of a morbid, question, but you bringing up Kobe makes me think about bringing it to you. You guys that have these deals with athletes, sometimes older athletes, and you get them to sign a bunch of stuff, and suddenly they're deceased.
Yeah.
And the deal, it's for their families or, whatever. How do you handle when you realize you've got a finite now amount of something from somebody who maybe has just passed? Does it take on a different gravity, a different business thought? Obviously it's going to be exclusive. There's no more autographs coming down the pipe. Mm-hmm. So do you then, what's the strategy about putting it into products that are, that handle that situation?
Yeah. I think it probably varies it's like a player to player.
I mean, are you guys sitting on a handful of Kobe autographs right now? Or
no, in fact, that was quite an issue because nobody, again, you talk about things you can't plan for.
Oh, of course.
Our guy, Brian Bain, became really good personal friends with Kobe. Their families knew each other. And he met with Kobe once a month to do signings and stuff. But there was still stuff that he didn't get signed.
Yeah.
So we had kind of the other issue with Kobe where
redemptions or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
But I think we did our best to kind of solve that issue. But things like Kobe's passing or any player's passing. So to answer your first question, I think it varies on a case-by-case basis.
Yep.
Depends on what we have in stock, but it's not uncommon, again, for me to discover that we put autographs in of a deceased player after years later because we still have inventory.
Yeah.
So I think our product teams absolutely talk about that and spend a quality time determining what they're going to do in those situations. But the passing of Kobe, and then 2 weeks ago, dear friend Ben Eklar, who was a longtime industry veteran from Beckett, Donruss, and Panini, he passed unexpectedly. And it really puts into perspective, like, what's important.
Yeah.
It's not, I love you, I love these people here, and it's the people that make everything work, right? Yep. So any news that may have happened a week before Ben passed, it just brought everything into perspective. And I don't need those reminders, but it's good for people to get those reminders sometimes that, hey man, the business is going to be here without us. And no matter how many wonderful jobs I've been blessed to have in this industry, I've never missed a job that I've left. I've missed the people that I do it with. And so that's really the most important aspect of that kind of issue for me.
I don't want to take up a bunch more of your time, but you keep bringing things up that then steer me into something that I've wanted to ask about. Redemptions.
Yeah.
We brought that up. I've got several redemptions that I can't get filled and whatever. No. I'm not knocking on your door right now.
I know.
I'm just curious. This is exactly like when we're doing something on the radio show, and I feel like I'm asking questions to an athlete that the fan wants to hear. There's collectors that I know are waiting for the same way that grading is an issue. I mean, it's just a mass quantity thing or whatever. How difficult is it for you guys to follow through on redemptions? And is it just a situation where, okay, geez, we don't have enough Steph Curry autographs, which I've got a Steph Curry redemption that's been now 240 days out or whatever.
Well, he's great. He's a good signer. So,
you know what I'm saying? But how difficult, how big of a problem is that for you guys?
It is really difficult because it's, many, many years ago, redemptions kind of became this necessary evil to make. And nobody likes them. Yeah. We don't like them.
See, in breaks, I love pulling them because in theory they sound great. It's a numbered, awesome, parallel, rookie. It's all the stuff that I want. But then in the end, I want it.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's one of the biggest kicks in the shin of a redemption is we lose that instant gratification. Yeah. But I always tell people, and then nobody believes it, but nobody hates redemptions more than us. It costs us more money. It takes more time. But so our customer service team is kind of starting behind the 8 ball every time. Nobody calls customer service to say, "Hey man, y'all
you guys are doing great.
Y'all kicked ass
love
on
everything."
Prism, right?" They call because they're pissed, and I get it, and I understand it. I too have had redemption cards, but I'll say this: our acquisitions team, and you work with a guy this week, Tone Stakes, who used to be on our acquisitions team. Yep. We never stop trying to get those. Yep. But we're also dealing with, in many cases, a lot of high-level athletes or rookies trying to learn playbooks or people who lose their shipments and we got to resend them. There's so many issues, but our teams never stop trying to get them. We never will stop trying to get them. And that's one of the benefits of the Panini reward site is the points. Yep. When you put in points, you can accumulate points throughout products and and they replace an autograph of a person you didn't want. Yeah. But on the strict redemption player name redemption, it's a never-ending process, and we have teams of people, two or three different teams of people whose job it is to get those back and fulfill them to collectors. We could go forever. I've been waiting to talk to you forever. We'll do it again. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm going to leave you with the one thing that I've been asking everybody. Cash, I'm with you all day. Dude, you got me as long as you want me, bro. No, I appreciate it. We'll keep this bite-sized, and we'll do this again at the Collectible Network Studios sometime. Yes. Thankfully, you're in Dallas, so we can do that. But this is what I've been asking everybody. 2 or 3 athletes, speculative. I don't want to hear Patrick Mahomes and LeBron. Okay. 2 or 3 speculative athletes in any sport that you would tell people to invest in 3 years from now, you're going to be like, holy crap, that $50, $100 card is now worth $2,000, and I'm so happy I did. 2 or 3 guys. I'm going to start with the UFC. I may give you 2 from the UFC. That's okay. One is Chase Hooper. Okay. I don't even know who that is. Yeah, I know. Chase Hooper? Chase Hooper. Okay. Young up-and-comer, undefeated, talented. I think he's a lightweight, but it could be less. And then this guy from England, Paddy Pimblett. Paddy the Batty. Yeah. I mean, he made headlines on a fight night. Not a pay-per-view, not a huge event for the UFC. He kind of made headlines with a huge knockout on that card. See, and that's the thing is, Conor McGregor is a great fighter, but he's better on the mic. And that's professional wrestlers, that are great. I mean, Chris Jericho has made an incredible living for decades, and he's got a podcast because he's great on the mic. Yeah. And he can change characters and stuff like that. So UFC needs to find somebody else that can flat out spit it. Well, this guy is a lot like Conor in the sense that he came out with his Beatles haircut, and it looked great. It looked so corny, but so awesome. And he could back it up with his fists, too. And then the third guy, I don't even think he has collectibles yet, but I'm going to throw him out there because he plays. He's a backup quarterback at LSU. Garrett Nussmeier went to Marcus High School. I got the chance to know him over the last few years. He got into a game last week, and I've never seen a kid generate excitement going 3 of 9 passing. That people on Twitter were buzzing about. Okay. So he's a great kid. He's got a lot of charisma, and I think he's destined for greatness. So with NIL, he could have something sooner rather than later. So. Cool. All right. Tracy Hackler, Panini, on the Collectible Network. Thanks, man. Thank you, Cash. I appreciate it, brother.